Shinsuke Nakamura! Man, we got a lot of sour stuff to talk about in this episode, but man, how exciting is it that the Boogs, they're giving him a platform to rock? Woo! Man, not that exciting for you, huh? Well, I'm digging it a lot. I like his entrance with Nakamura. He's got when he debuted, I thought all he could do was air guitar, but who knew he could actually shred the electric guitar, man. It's maybe my favorite thing to watch on wrestling now every week. But we're going to get into that in a minute. And we just want to say hello, everybody. Welcome to a budget cutting. Oh, no. Roster trimming. Again, high-selling episode of the Brothers of Discussion. We're talking WWE being for sale, maybe. The future of the released superstars. God, more of them. And we got to revisit a historic Double or Nothing from the past weekend. And like I said, we're going to touch on the rock god that is Boogs. We're going to touch on bad guy Otis, because another friend of the show. Love that dude. And because SmackDown, all my favorite stories are on SmackDown right now, including the Usos, but also Doc Brown Bailey. Bailey looking more and more like the good doctor from Back to the Future every episode. Channeling a little bit of broken Matt Hardy as well. Matt, you've got 2 babies in the can. Are you working on number 3? How are things over there?
Doing good. Just making sure the good people know that we're live. Let me see if I can put this together here, because I'm running out of space. I need 6 less letters. So we'll take Murphy out of Buddy. There's a space. There we go. We all know who Lesnar is.
Put Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
no R.
I got to hashtag it, right? There's let's do Aleister, RIott. Let's do that. How's that sound?
Sounds gorgeous, man. Love it.
All right, I just made too many spaces. There we go. Now I can actually post this. Whoops, I forgot to say that this was an episode. We are live. Man, this is so hard to do. What was the question you asked me, Mike? Do you want to jump into the first topic, or do you want to tell people where to find us while I finish this?
Absolutely. I would love to. We are all over the social media platforms. Come join the Facebook discussion group. We've got some wonderful people heading it, and we really appreciate the candor and respect of opinion everybody's got. We got to thank Miss Rachel, Miss Amy, helping to kind of keep all that stuff together on the Book of Faces. Matt, dropping all sorts of goofiness on the Instagram. Go ahead, check out, look up BOD Podcast. Matt, we're going to be, I think you said we're trademarked now. This is pretty big deal. And then on the tweets.
We gotta get in contact with the Audible podcast, which is called the Brothers of Discussion, and it's 4 brothers that discuss pro wrestling. So they'll be getting an email soon. Look, everybody. I mean, I might look like a dick when you're trying to take our logo or you're trying to take our name, and I send you an email that says, "Hi, this is our name." Maybe I look like a dick, but I don't know about you, Mike.
If they want to go ahead and be the Wolfpack NWO, go ahead. But in 30 years, people are going to be more excited about the black and white, the real Brothers of Discussion. So I'm not threatened. If you hear a motorcycle revving up outside, 2002 Undertaker's about to drive over, I guess. That's what we get.
Shout out. Wrestling Plug, checking in. Just got to throw out, head on over to Wrestling Plug's Twitter account. Let me see if I can find that real quick, because he's got a wonderful charity going with Love Wrestling. I just want to make sure I get that exact. It's just at Wrestling Plug. Sorry. It's always the ink. I don't know if that's in there or not. So it's just at Wrestling Plug. Head on over there. He's got an awesome thing going. Again, Love Wrestling is doing a huge thing. I donated last night. They're also doing some fun with, chugging water. So go check that out. But you got to start at Wrestling Plug. All right.
Hell of a one-man show over there. Good Lord. It's awesome.
Well, no, he's got a show.
He's moving now.
Show going. Oh my God, it's the baby brain. But is it Between Two Beards? Wrestling Plug. I see you're on there right now. I can't just comment, and we'll make sure that I get it right. And I feel terrible right now.
Yeah, it's been a bad week for me.
Absolutely melting.
I got in trouble at work. Oh my God. And I'm supposed to be going on vacation right before I got in trouble. Woo! It's been a hot one over here. Let me tell you.
Well, Mike, my troubles continue. We all know the story of my left eye. I'm trying to keep my distance from the camera because I have an absolutely, Between Two Beards. I got it right.
All right, there. Thank God.
Pregnancy brain. Baby brain is the woman have pregnancy.
Collectively,
brain.
We have two baby brains.
This is lack of sleep brain. Go check out Between Two Beards, guys. It's a ton of fun, and it's definitely see how light and cuddly we are, and when you get between two guys with two beards, it's definitely more manly. I have to say. My high-pitched giggling that's probably going to wake up my daughter. But anyway, hoozles. My left eye, Mike, I've now got a beautiful sty. It just looks like the most disgusting pimple you've ever seen. I actually brought sunglasses down here because I was going to ask you if it was so distracting, I could just wear these the whole episode.
Sunglasses is way more distracting.
That's what I was going to say. Is it more distracting to have this gross pimple hanging on the bottom of my eyelid?
I mean, at least that's your face. I don't know what that other gimmick is. I don't know.
So here's what happened. Addie scratches my eyeball.
Gotcha.
I have now been given medication for the rest of my life. Medication I now have to pull back on so that I can sleep and open my eyelid in the morning and not have my eye rip open. I have to pull back on that medicine because it's plugging up the pores in my eyelid. So now I'm getting a sty on my fucking eyeball. It's just never going to end with this.
Sounds like CM Punk back when he had that staph infection. Just left and right for you, huh?
I'm not saying I'm at this point, but I was handed materials like I shouldn't even bring this up because I'm a happy boy. But eye issues cause so many problems in people's lives that it actually is what do I want to say? Like, there's actually a mortality rate, like a suicide rate with eye problems because it just, you can't see and it drains your whole, you lose everything. But I'm not saying there's no problem. I'm just saying, like, there really is, like, are you fucking kidding me? Now I have to risk my eyeball ripping open every morning because I can't clog up my pores. It's awful.
I don't know why you don't have a patch. That's what I'm confused about.
I see that might be coming because the eyeball is just gonna have to be scooped out. I told the eye doctor I'm gonna scoop my eyeball out before I call it quits.
Yeah, you're gonna have like a 90s occupational wrestling gimmick when you're just gonna have like a big old patch, and that's how the Brothers of Discussion are getting over the Michael and the patch.
See,
it'll be like Shock Jock Radio.
He's got my back. Bret Hart wearing sunglasses. See, what I could do every episode is take them off and then pretend I'm Bret Hart and put them onto the camera.
You could keep putting them on your babies so you can get them back after the show. It's your own kid. Let's get into some of the topics here, Matt. As we alluded to at the start of the show, again, massive budget cuts. In case somehow you haven't heard who's gone, woo! At least from the WWE payroll, Braun Strowman, who I was pretty sure was going to be a WWE lifer, to be honest.
Yep.
Aleister Black, a guy they just finished rebooting, who just main evented SmackDown, who just started a feud with Big E, gone. Ruby Riott, who we're probably going to know her as Heidi Lovelace again here shortly.
Yep.
I think undoubtedly, I say this with all love, maybe like the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division, because she was so excellent of a worker, and it just never felt like she got a push. then a couple other names here. Lana, I don't think she's going to be unemployed for very long if she wants. And then Buddy Murphy on the list. And then Santana Garrett. This is just stunning stuff. Allegedly, they've had the interviews. They've all been kind of posting. All those people have been posting, heartfelt messages thanking fans, on Instagram, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Allegedly, this is all because of budget cuts. Hearing that Braun makes a couple million a year. Maybe there's some truth to that. But you said Aleister, or eventually probably going to be again Tommy End. You said he had something on that.
Yeah, he was nice enough to go live on Twitch for like an hour and a half, and man, that was like glued to the edge of your seat, like listening. That was as good as, if you remember, the Colt Cabana CM Punk podcast from years past, where Punk detailed the ins and outs of that, the end of that relationship. It was riveting though, in the sense of how many surprises there were. Not that this ended horribly for Aleister or Tommy End. It was just, he had so many great things to say, and they were treating him so much better than we all would have guessed. And maybe some of that's just to make sure he's not burning bridges. But I mean, Mike, we found out that this was supposed to be it. This was supposed to be Aleister Black getting the championship push. This is going to be finally, he's going to start winning matches. It's not going to be 50-50 booking. We're going to push him to the moon. That shattered me in two. My heart was completely broken because you and I both love Aleister Black so much ever since we saw him at that the house show for NXT for me. He hinted at a couple of rivalries that really sent him over the edge with Andrade and Dream. And, like those things, you probably don't want to mention one of those names too often, but those matches are going to stick with me forever. And it's just, he was finally going to get it. Like, at those matches, and all of the love that we had and held for him was finally going to mean something. And I kind of wish, like, that live video he did was great, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things, but I kind of wish he hadn't done it, because it broke me even further.
Yeah, this really felt like they're really sinking their teeth into what that character could be.
They had animated vignettes for him.
Yeah, they were sinking a lot of money into that character. Yeah. A lot of people were bringing up when that, he gets released, like, there's so many different things that we're just going to try and pick at. And that's where the idea of, like, we're going to talk about it in a minute, but is WWE selling? Because it's like, this doesn't make any sense. But there's also the idea that pops up of how disconnected the executives are with WWE and WWE creative. Because clearly they invested a lot of money and time for Aleister Black. And they were making him, giving him like this cult leader persona. And then he's just gone. And there's no thought to, what about the other people that are not at the top of the roster? Was he really getting paid that much that his salary was more than some of the guys that are off TV? I don't know. Like, that's not to say you wish that somebody else had gotten fired. It's just to carry that point of how disconnected the executives are, how little they are probably consuming this product to have him let go at this time. And there were so many months where he was off TV where it would have made more sense. Before starting this storyline would have made perfect sense. But here we are. They give it a go. We all get really excited. I'm pretty sure he was trending, and I'm pretty sure it got us all talking, at least. And that's their big thing. You don't have to get a yay or a boo, or I'm sorry. It's not that you're getting booed. It's that you're getting a reaction. So regardless if people were like, what's going on here with this Aleister thing? I don't know if I'm ready for another supernatural identity. They were still talking about it. So everything added up. T-shirts were being purchased, and here we are. Yeah, this is arguably, a couple of these are really shocking between Aleister and Braun, because it felt like these were a couple of products that WWE had nurtured in NXT and they're in the development, NXT especially for Aleister, grooming him, letting him have those big time feuds, letting him win the NXT championship. And now Aleister's on he's on a list of former NXT champs that are, getting the boot. And, Braun was, he was a strong man. He was not really a wrestler. This was, them saying, wow, we got to get this giant guy in here. He's the WWE look. He's just a big bag of meat. He's a giant. We got Big Show going out the door. We got people like Mark Henry out the door. And I mean, before AEW, they like having their giant, for storylines. It kind of felt like Braun was going to get that spot. He actually had fan support behind him, and then we were kind of waiting for him to become champ, and then they, waited a little too long to do that, and then he became champ, but it was too late. And it's a really bizarre, he was out there doing matches with, like little kids at WrestleMania. Like he was that kind of over that they would put that kind of, onus on him to try and figure that out and make that match work. And just the way that they put all that effort into both those guys, it's just kind of surprising. And I guess that's why we don't have any inside knowledge about a sale for WWE, but we know that they've been, kind of mucking around with bringing in different executives. With all these layoffs, they're bringing in new executives to kind of, refocus, where this company's going. That's when they started going to Fox and NBC.
People from like Barstool, there's Nick Khan that's coming over, and these guys all have experience with those big moves, and that idea was planted well before all of these releases started happening, and then now they're happening. So it's kind of like, well, why would they sell?
It's like you just make that conclusion that if they're making these, really bizarre cuts for people who, had spots at WrestleMania, or they had brand new stories that we literally just started doing this past Friday, and now Big E just doesn't have a dance partner. They just kind of pull the plug on it. Why would they be doing that unless it's some, massive move? We've heard whispers about, what they're going to do with New Japan. We know that they're giving, Peacock.
That shouldn't hurt them. And
well, they are going to start traveling again too, so I don't know if they're just trying to, tighten the belt a little bit as they get prepared for that.
Yeah, and I guess, and there's the idea too, like, oh, they released all these people so they could bring in Brock Lesnar. I don't anticipate seeing Brock Lesnar on my TV soon, and if it was a SummerSlam thing, they still have another month, so I guess that's possible because he was added to the active roster, but this just, I don't know. This is a lot of people in a couple of months here. Not to mention, how many hundreds of people lost their job, like a corporate job, and that goes along with them working together with Peacock. It was a lot of people in the digital platform, working on the network that lost their job because they don't need the manpower anymore. Somebody else is going to manage that on the States. So, boom, there it goes, job gone. And that, that part of that is like, gosh, I hate to say it, but yes, that makes sense. You don't pay people to stay with your company when they don't have anything to do.
Right? WWE, that's their MO. They like paid people to not wrestle for other companies.
Right. On the corporate side.
But if they are going to do something where they set up, if they set up something where they're going to have NXT Japan, and they're going to be doing battle with people in Japan. Woo! That's quite an investment. So, if that's where the money's going, it's probably going to be nice for us. But obviously, we're not pumped about, seeing all these people suddenly unemployed, especially people we loved a lot. Looking at Heidi, looking at, Tommy End here in particular. I don't know what I'm going to do with my Ruby Riott t-shirt. But yeah, Wrestling Plug. Yeah. Who's going to pull kids from the crowd to be part of tag teams now?
Clearly, Rick Boogs. I don't know if
he could pull me out of the crowd, and I'd be screaming like a little kid because I'd be really excited.
If there's anybody that's going to be able to pull off some goofy stuff, oh my God, am I so in love with what Rick's doing?
You mean the deodorant salesman?
Yeah, exactly. He just had to grab Corbin by the ankle, making an ankle tackle like in the NFL to make sure he didn't get away with the crown. And this is a guy that is clearly all in on being a goofball to keep his job. So I'm all for it. There it is. Boogs. Now another one here from Greg. What about Parker Bordeaux? Why aren't we just going with Parker Bordeaux? Go low budget. Forget Brock Lesnar. I'm right there with you. I think the money with that is going to come when Brock Lesnar comes back. And once they can get Parker to, test him a little bit from what we've heard. And we don't know. Mike and I aren't at the Performance Center, but from what we've heard he's not quite ready to go. I say that now and then he'll make a debut at SummerSlam and I'll look like an asshole. But, reading the dirt sheets is all we've got. That's all we got. And they say Parker just kind of looks, he's tough. And you can mask a lot of that stuff. But he's, I don't know if he's ready to go toe-to-toe with Brock yet. But that is a very good point. Why not just go with the cheaper guy who's got the same look? I think part of that is just going to go with, we have a SummerSlam to sell. We are really worried that people aren't going to show up. So we're going to have John Cena and Brock Lesnar come back. And I'm throwing that out there because John Cena is the other guy rumored to come back. And John loves pro wrestling. He's a company guy. They're going to say, please, John, will you come back so we can have people excited about live shows again? Not be, to be so excited that we're going to forget about everything that's happened in the last year and a half. Because Mike, I'm still going into stores with my mask. I'm fully vaccinated. I am walking from outside of Costco into Costco with a mask on. And of course it's Costco. So everybody's giving me side eye. Like, I'm going to go out back. I'm going to you're going to be meeting my 2-barrel in a second, young man. You take that goddamn mask off. Like those are the looks I'm getting when I head into Costco with my mask. But I'm just being safe, right? You make the safe decision. So I'm saying they need to make SummerSlam so goddamn exciting, so just filled with headliner names that you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to see John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
I'll buy a ticket. I'm going to be in attendance.
Your eyes really popped at the. You haven't gotten the Costco. I'm going to put my double barrel in your nose, your nostrils, young man.
No.
Look.
No, we're it's a lot more relaxed out here in Waterford, and we don't have that kind of folk anymore. Wrestling plug dropping a ping a guy you can't even see. Millions of dollars seems strange. Yeah.
I mean, the Invisible Man comes in. You know what's cute? I do have his truck book, and I read it for my daughter. Wrestling plug, highly recommend it for your kids if they're still young enough. But at the end of the book, the little truck who, I guess is really supposed to be John Cena truck version kind of thing. Yeah. He's at the end of the book and he says, "That's weird. Why do they just have an empty box where the about the author is supposed to be?" It's cute. It's a little something for us wrestling fans. Also, the only thing, I have a John Cena autograph now because of that book. So that's that's gotta make sure my daughter doesn't ruin that.
Well,
she ruined my eyes, so there's a very good chance she's gonna ruin that book.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't need Cena and Brock to fight each other at SummerSlam. I just need the Maharaja and Drew McIntyre to go in. That's all I need. I think John would have his own match. Brock and Bobby Lashley is probably what's going to happen. I think that's something we've all been asking for. I wouldn't mind seeing John Cena. I didn't know if you were alluding to a rematch of the infamous Cena Brock Lesnar battle.
Look, I would be. I think if they did that would be really cool. But I think that it would be smarter to spread. Like, do you want to put for one night? You're gonna pay Brock Lesnar and John Cena for let's say 20 minutes. So you're gonna pay him $5 million. So really, you're paying him $15 million an hour, right? They do a 20-minute match. So that's not in my checkbook. I can't write that check, but I think you got to spread those.
You don't
guys
think
out.
they'll do like a receipt match? So Cena will just F you to Brock for 15 minutes.
Wouldn't that be cool though? And like set up something for WrestleMania too, like Brock versus Cena. You know, I guess how many would that be? It wouldn't be 3. There's a lot, but anyway, it would just be cool to see Cena get over on Brock, kind of sell his Fast and Furious powers, and or what is he in the Fast and Furious, or was he in something else? That sounds right. Oh, he's in Suicide Squad now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Suicide Squad is
that.
going to be in that, for sure. But
Hey, Hoozles.
yeah.
We really got off track, but
that happens occasionally on this show. Yeah,
I mean, this is what pro wrestling podcasts are all about. We just keep guessing on what's actually happening with these companies, like Lesnar being added to the active roster, is Vince McMahon selling the company, which I was like, okay, so he'd sell his majority shares. Like I had to correct that in my head, right? We're not selling the company. We're selling the majority shares that Vince McMahon has to someone else.
Yeah, what would the creative control clauses be in that contract? Like, at what point would NBC just be like, you know what, fuck it, we're out, we're not buying it now. No, old man, you don't get to pick what's on Thursday nights on NBC. No, we're not doing 8 p.m. SmackDown. No, you.
Do you think he tried to, like, he's talking to George Lucas right now, and he's like, well, how do I keep my baby? You know, how do I make sure they don't ruin my baby? George is just like, well, you just gotta go. It's either the money or you gotta go with your gut. Huh? It's all up to you, Vince. Sorry.
Is he calling from satellite phone on an island? Because that's where he's at. Also, it looks like Usos are about to fight the Mysterios for the tag titles. So people are watching that. If you're not, get on it.
You know what everybody should watch? So I think we're wrapping up that conversation. Go to YouTube and watch for free TJP and Josh Alexander. 60-minute Iron Man match that goes into overtime. Can I spoil it?
Do we get a vote, or it's just gonna happen?
It's just gonna happen. There's a last second pinfall that sends it into overtime, and it was a pretty sweet move for a last second pinfall. I say go for it right now. It's totally free. It's not a match of the year in my book. There's a lot of things that hurt it. The setting hurts this match. There's a lot of just hearing knees bumping into the ring mat, and I'm not all about that. It's just a lot of like scuffling feet. So that's somebody's cup of tea, not my cup of tea. Again, fan of the cinematic matches right here. So it lacks a lot of drama because of that. There's 10 people watching, and at certain points they just get dead quiet. And I had to look, I was typing up notes for this, and I'm like backing up and rewinding and going, why are they all quiet at the same exact time? But that's
the worst,
really
and you
good.
can hear like papers shuffling. You know, you hear like a.
It is fun to hear D'Lo Brown call it too. So if you haven't heard D'Lo call it, he's very good on the mic. I would say 0 mistakes. So I think we rag on a lot of people for their mistakes. Easily 0 from me. But yeah, it's a great pace for a 60-minute Iron Man match. But I don't know. The overtime was fun. The last couple of minutes were fun, but it is still a 60-minute Iron Man match. So it's still, I don't know. I think I might be past that. I haven't gone back to watch Sean and Brett in quite a few years. I used to watch that match.
I think the biggest problem with that is like when you're watching, like I started watching Mayor of Easttown on HBO, and it's an excellent show. But I also try to make sure I squint at the beginning of the episode, because it lets you know how long the runtime is, and then you kind of know how to set your expectations. Like, oh, that character's fine. We got 28 minutes left. You know, I think it would be a little bit better if they didn't announce that it was 60 minutes, or you could hide how long a match lasts. You know, you don't want to lose some of the drama there. But I mean, I didn't get to catch it. I'm pumped to watch it. I know we wanted to make a little bit of time to just talk about Double or Nothing, and I wanted to talk about Dynamite. It's not starting for another 15 minutes here on a Friday night. going all the way to midnight. So if you were pooping your Pampers about their move to TBS, it won't happen anymore because there won't be playoff basketball to get in the way. So
I did want to throw in there. You asked if I had NXT notes. I wanted to kind of sell everybody on the Karrion Kross thing real quick because there were a lot.
Did you want to talk about the match or that Adam Cole promo, which was pretty solid?
Oh, the Adam Cole promo was great. I just don't understand why people are upset that this match is happening, that they wanted more to come from it. But we did, just to argue why you should be excited, and this does technically make sense, is because you've at least had Kyle, Pete, and Gargano kind of bumping heads with Karrion Kross, and especially Kyle and Pete have been going at it. But here's why this is so cool. Mike, we've had different generations of NXT, and Karrion Kross is trying to get over as the most dominant guy in the business right now. He's actually going up against the 4 most decorated, I would say, superstars of the if we say the previous generation of NXT. If Karrion Kross is starting the next one, you've got the 4 most decorated guys, the guys who've turned in the best matches in NXT, going up against Kross. I mean, obviously, names like Aleister Black and Andrade are missing from that list, but this is who's available.
And Keith Lee.
Right, Keith Lee. Who knows if he's getting released next? But I think that this is amazing. Like, this is, all 4 of these guys should be fighting to make sure Kross doesn't get the win. And I think he's going to get it.
If you talk about really putting a rocket on somebody's back, they're literally putting 4 rockets on this guy's back to get him over. So not only does he have the cool music and the dry ice and the girl and the title, now he's going to knock out 4 NXT mainstays.
Yep. And you're just going to have to look at this and go, well, who's next? And that's where we start building up the rest of this NXT roster and giving someone else a shot. But I think this booking is incredibly cool. And even if you take that away, everyone needs to not complain about this, because it's fucking Karrion Kross versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole versus fucking Johnny fucking Gargano. What the fuck are people complaining about? Jesus Christ.
The only thing I could think is if they did like a Roman Reigns match at SummerSlam where he fights Daniel Bryan, AJ. Give me another one, Matt. I don't know. Who else do the people
Finn
love?
Balor, throw him in there.
We're going to put Finn in there? I want somebody even more beloved. He beats up John Cena, and Stone Cold Adam comes Cole. Back. He beats up all 4 of those guys, and Adam Cole. And he drapes a prone Adam Cole on top of the other bodies. That would be the equivalent. I just mean like that kind of push with that kind of talent there. Does it? It doesn't feel
over on most of those guys.
Yeah, well, not all at once in one match. I think people would lose their minds if Roman was allowed to do that.
You want to see Karrion Kross doing what that Roman Reigns T-shirt says. You want to see him lay out all 4 of those guys and pile them up for the pin victory.
Like Lincoln Logs. Like he's making a little house where you kind of stack them like head to toe.
Yeah, it's that Roman shirt is what? Stack them, pack them, and pin them or something. What's that shirt? Somebody comment. What the hell does that Roman Reigns shirt say? Maybe he's coming out to the ring right now. It's stack.
I think he's only coming out if the Usos blow this one.
Any Usos. All right. So we want to wrap up with Double or Nothing chat. Mike, I thought this was one of the better, we'll say, special wrestling shows and pay-per-views of the last year. I think we all kind of had some question marks and shoulder shrugs even at WrestleMania, and Royal Rumble was fun, but this just, the only problem with this is that it was almost exhausting by the end of it.
I think if they had cut like 2 matches, it would have been maybe the best pay-per-view of all time. Like, if you just cut that Cody match, god damn it, that match was such an energy sucker. It killed Miro's match. It killed Britt Baker's match. That crowd was done. They're like, nah, we good. He didn't suck the energy out of his match. He sucked it out of the next 3 matches. That's how rough that was. But I don't want to poo-poo that too much because we had so much good. God, what was your? I know it's tough to pick just one, but what was the one that, if you're going to go back and watch, from entrance to finish, which one would you start with?
You know what's going to be the easiest one to watch is going to be Kingston and Mox versus the Young Bucks. That was a party. That was so much fun to watch. From the entrance music, the Wild Things by the Trogs. I was just I had to like ignore everybody in the room. So that's wife, 2 kids, and I'm just like smiling ear to ear. That was like a return to pro wrestling. Like that audience like engaged with that. That Wild Thing needs to stay forever. I hope that they have some sort of license that this isn't just like a one-time thing. God damn, that is so much fun.
I want it to be like a life insurance payout. Can we just get it payable upon death? Payable upon death of AEW, like just forever.
My hot take right now is that's 1,000 times more fun than the Chris Jericho song. Probably because, Mike, Chris Jericho is not as good. And a classic rock song to last forever. It is timeless, that song. Wild Things is timeless. I'm sorry. For all the Chris Jericho stans out there that absolutely love singing Judas.
I'm not gonna put Judas up there with Tiny Dancer, but I will say, as far as like a fun, interactive, like wrestling experience, it is fun to I still sing it on my couch sometimes.
No, and I'm not taking that away from anybody. I'm just saying, like, this is the difference between you're hearing the fans cheer along with, like, I'm coming, and you don't, like, what did they, like, if somebody's sitting there with you, you have to explain the lyrics.
What do those lyrics mean?
Everybody's going,
he read the Bible once or something. I don't know.
Like, that is timeless. Everybody knows what's going on with that song. That's the difference, is that there's, it's an overproduced new rock metal song. So it's
I still have fun with it.
I do. I'm not saying I have fun with it. I'm just saying Wild Thing is a million times more cool.
Is it the Trogs? No, I'm out. That's how we're gonna judge
the point.
Man,
nobody could name another Trogs song in their catalog. Nobody.
I gotta say, one of the more important matches, of the year, maybe. Oh, geez, the tribal chief is out there pummeling some Mysterios.
What's his shirt say?
It says something me. The script is too small. Oh, acknowledge me.
Oh.
Which was, this is the second time we brought this up in this episode. Velveteen's angle against Aleister Black. He just wanted him to acknowledge him.
Smash him, stack him, pin him. I just decided to Google it.
That's how I felt. Remember the BK stacker that had like meat, cheese, and bacon? Yeah. Grill them, cheese them, and stack them. That was Roman Reigns was inspired by Burger King. Man, that triple threat for the AEW championship. Obviously, Kenny Omega and Pac are, two of the best wrestling like workers of all time. And the way that those two guys made Orange Cassidy look like a legitimate threat to win that title, after we talked for, weeks about what is he doing in this match, that was the whole buildup in the storyline is, this guy's ridiculous. He's a sideshow. He, sells T-shirts, but he's not a real wrestler. Our Facebook group was giving poor Orange Casserole, giving him hell. We had some really nice pieces that we talked about writing-wise about the art of the clown, the purpose of the clown, in wrestling, folklore. Yeah. But Omega and Pac, Cassidy never felt out of place in that match. He felt like there was, I think we were discussing the Office in the way, I think BJ Ryan was talking about, was it BJ Ryan talking about character evolution? How you mostly stay the same and there's like that 15% you can change at most?
Yeah, he learned that from the showrunner, Greg Daniels.
Okay. Yeah. A legendary television, producer, writer. But that's what it felt like Orange Cassidy got
made of Conan O'Brien. Hadn't mentioned him yet.
Oh yeah, let's throw him
I
in
think
there.
I mentioned him like
Friend of the
once a month.
show. Yeah. Orange Cassidy was given that 15% to evolve a little bit. And I don't know if he's ever going to be champion, but I don't know if he ever needs to be champion. It's just the guy is so over. At some point, he might get, one of those, Daniel Bryan out of nowhere pushes. And I don't think, I know some people would be upset, because, he's tongue in cheek, self-aware, about wrestling, but I've said it once, I'll say it again. You only get away with the clown show if you actually know how to go. And I think that's something that Colt Cabana was saying about Cassidy. And Cassidy really got a chance to prove himself. And even though he didn't win, I think that's what you're going to remember is this guy's going to be a force in that company and in the wrestling realm. It was a very impressive show.
We can't ignore Wrestling Plug. He'll take 2 stackers. Just had to throw that out there.
Ooh, Wrestling Plug, have you tried that new Burger King spicy fried chicken sandwich at Burger King? It is fantastic.
I have not tried it yet. I'm a huge fan of spicy chicken sandwiches. We should have another podcast just about spicy chicken sandwiches.
Let's do the other thing too was we finally got the coronation of Britt Baker. A story that was a year in the making. And unfortunately, Cody sucked all the life out of the crowd for that big moment. But those, Shida and Baker, they still put on an excellent match, but it was, an exhausted crowd, I think.
There's things in movies that I was just talking about with my wife that sometimes they happen and they're not earned. If anybody wants, I highly recommend the movie Plan B on Hulu. However, the ending, I looked at my wife and I said, that wasn't earned. It's because 2 characters didn't get enough time to generate a rapport. And it just, you saw it happen and you were just kind of like, okay, I guess that's what needs to happen for the movie to end. Just like 2 people like hugging it out kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is the exact opposite of what we got with Britt Baker and Tony Schiavone. That embrace. I'm not saying it was supposed to, Mike. I'm not saying it was supposed to. This is how I'm prefacing it. It wasn't supposed to give me chills just now, but for whatever reason, I just got chills. Maybe it's just because I'm cold in my basement. But that was such a beautiful moment, and I loved it so much. And like you could see, like everything that was going into that, and they, breaking character and how much care has gone into building Britt Baker into being what she is right now. God, like the next thought that pops in your head is just like, what are Adam Cole and Britt Baker drinking that we are not aware of? Like, where do they live? What are they drinking? Sewer water? Is it city water? Or what planet is it coming from? Because, goddamn, this doesn't take anything away from Hikaru Shida, but that was easily her best match in my opinion, and I loved it. I'll probably go back and watch it. I thought it was a ton of fun. But yeah, this was all about her being Britt Baker being crowned as champion, and again going back to you earned that moment with not weeks, not months, but since Britt Baker's been around and that relationship with Tony Schiavone, that was fantastic. I loved it. You got the great match, you got the great story. And now you have the character that has the catchphrases. She's got the charisma. This division was made to be run by Britt Baker, at least for the time being. And Mike, already calling out Deonna Purrazzo on Impact Wrestling. So
I hope she starts calling out little Lovelace action. That's what I want.
Maybe.
I know we got to wait 90 days, but I'm going to be counting them down for that debut on a Wednesday night here. Yeah, I think that earning of it, that's what AEW, one of their strengths are, that long-term storytelling. And they basically gave this a whole year. We were kind of like, oh, man, why is Shida getting these kind of one-off, feuds where it just lasts 30, 40 days, if that. There's no story.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel bad because it feels like they sacrificed Shida having some real feuds to sink her teeth into. But I mean, she is, if she's not Britt Baker, she's the most credible women's performer in the whole division. So maybe she didn't quite get the feuds that we were hoping for, but she's a made woman, and she's got that what do we call it, the Teflon layer around her, where she could probably lose 50 matches in a row and it wouldn't matter because she's in such high regard for all of us, the way she held things down, Drew McIntyre style through a COVID. So bravo to Sheeta, and even if she doesn't get to dance with Britt Baker here for the foreseeable future, if they kind of, let Britt, kind of duke it out with the rest of the division, I think she's going to be fine.
Also, start of the show, pretty great. Hangman getting the victory. I liked how you put it that, Brian. Or actually, what did you tweet out? That he let integrity get in the way, and that's how
Brian
gets the win.
Yeah, Cage lost because of integrity, and when he got that, now I guess he's going to be a babyface now, and he's turning on Taz and friends. It was really a breath of fresh air for Brian Cage, who kind of alluded to it against with Ricky Starks when he battled Dobby and Sting. But yeah, I think that's a guy who could definitely run with that. And I don't know if they had a lot of hosses that they wanted him to fight, but watching him go up against the numbers game, I think it's going to be pretty easy for them to get some fan support behind that guy. And really, a really smart choice to have that match early in the card. The crowd was really hot for it. We talked about Hangman Page, how they were just kind of waiting to hit that go button on his career, until fans were back. And he did not disappoint at all. He definitely looked like one of the best wrestlers in the world. Bravo to Brian for helping Hangman get over and that first, taste of live crowd reaction. And I'm just pumped for both of their stories going forward. That was, one of the things that was so strong on this card. And I guess the one I think kind of bigger surprise was the Stadium Stampede, Pinnacle and Inner Circle. It was a blast. I really thought Pinnacle was going to bury Inner Circle, and that was going to be over.
I gotta say, I don't know how many Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy games you've played over the years, Mike.
Where you think it's over? We got one more.
No, see, I didn't even need to. You beat the first boss. You get the second iteration. You're like, all right, this should be cool. Hopefully it's not going to take too long. And you get past that triple threat for the title. And then I did completely forget that Stadium Stampede was on the card. I think earlier in the night, I was like, what did they do? Was that on the kickoff show? Yeah. I wanted to like this match. I was so angry that I was still awake. I did not have as much fun as I could have.
Oh, I really loved it. I thought Sammy Guevara looked great. I actually popped when they got who's that coach for the Jaguars down there now?
Urban Meyer,
yeah, the old Ohio State, Florida guy. Yeah, I popped for Jericho hitting MJF with the footballs, and MJF selling it like he got shot with a gun.
Those scenes were pretty great, but god damn it, it's not even about because we're in Michigan. That guy's such a piece of shit. All those college coaches are. I fucking hate his face.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about this possibly being the end of the Inner Circle, it just kind of felt like, well, where do we go with these guys now? We've seen them as heels, we've seen them as the baby face. Look at the Shield. They were heel almost their whole run, and then they turned babyface, and then they quickly disbanded after that. So I thought it was going to be something kind of similar. But the more that Double or Nothing with the first live crowd, and a real live crowd, not just enhancement talent and guys not in the card that night circling the ring. The first real live crowd. It was their WrestleMania. So I don't think they wanted to leave you bummed out at the end of the night. And I feel like that kind of factored into the decision there to have Inner Circle go over. And, it's the group, you sing along to their song as they come out, as ridiculous as the lyrics are for Judas. But I think they try to leave you with a feel-good moment. coming out of that.
Who's fighting for the title, Mike, at All Out, September 5th, Chicago? Is it September 5th? Do I have the right date?
I mean, I guess Jungle Boy? Is that what you're getting at? Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega?
That's what, in 2 weeks? That's
or is that going to be sooner?
Yeah, that's not this Saturday or next Saturday. Oh, you know what? It's on a day where I know I'm actually busy. That's coming up. I think it was supposed to be this upcoming Dynamite, and they changed gears. But I'm wondering if we're going to be wait until September to see Hangman go up against Kenny Omega. I think that's the big payoff, because we know Chicago is going to be rowdy. I think pro wrestling is ready to get out of Jacksonville and get out of the Orlando area. Let's get out of Florida for a bit here. I wanted to throw that out there because I figure we were just talking about like being in front of the fans, like real live fans, and now you're going to have some huge payoff match where hopefully they book Kenny Omega, that we're really sick of seeing him hold the titles. Because, I mean, he's got Impact Wrestling matches coming up, and I don't think it makes sense to take that Impact title off him yet. But I don't know if Impact is having fun not having their champion on TV forever. But, so he'll go up against Jungle Boy in a couple of weeks. He'll take him down. I don't know if you had a chance to Google that while I'm throwing that out there. I know, whatever. I think it's another NBA's in the way, and they're going to be on Saturday night instead of Friday night. But so that'll get through. Maybe they'll fit in another worthy opponent in the summer months here. But All Out, I think Hangman, Kenny Omega.
I gotta say, like, of that whole card, people really popped for Orange Cassidy. Not so much for the match, but in the aftermath when the credits were rolling, where they were kind of like setting up the story for the next match. People were really popping for Britt Baker with the "You Deserve It" chants, but in a match that it's a battle royal. There's just a lot of moving parts. A lot of people got cameos, having their spots. I gotta say, I think Jungle Boy had the biggest reaction of that night. Am I out in left field by making that assertion?
No, you absolutely are not. I really wanted to hate the the Battle Royale because I was so sure Christian was going to win. And
I know we had the bets that Christian or the field. We didn't even consider anybody else. I really thought it was going to be Christian's time to shine.
It was booked perfectly for Christian to be the final two because we all saw it coming. He was getting booed in the arena, so people knew, like he was probably going to get that win. But yeah, there's probably a Christian in the summer months and then leading into Hangman Page. But
I didn't know he was going to be that like magnanimous, where he's not really done anything like win-wise. He's had like. He'll pull the curtain and win a 10-minute match.
Christian or Jungle Boy?
Christian. Okay. And so for him to give that rub to Jungle Boy, and again just feeding into that idea of we got to send these 5,000 people. This is the first like crowd. Sammy Guevara was tweeting and gramming about it. About what a moment it was for him. For Cage Christian to. Give that rub, in that kind of show, and make everybody go home happy. Man, there was a lot of I don't know if AEW the fans have to know what I mean. That WrestleMania moment, to give that to Jungle Boy. I think it was a big deal because you saw who they're prioritizing for the future with who they propped up that night, because this is arguably their biggest show of the whole year.
Right. I couldn't have been more excited for that. And I think like what really helped propel this to the moon was that slide around the ring and the way he pulled Christian out of the ring too. Like it couldn't have just been Jungle Boy getting the win. He had to do it in the most Jungle Boy fashion, which was, I mean, like I said, I I'm pretty sure it was either me or you tweeted out like this was a perfectly booked battle royal at the end. I was very careful in at least my thought process. It was at the end. I think the casino battle royale is a complete mess. It is a mess. Like it's different, but it's fucking nuts. But the ending of that perfectly booked. All right, Mike, you ready to sail off into the sunset? I know Double or Nothing is 10 minutes in now, and looks like see Bleacher Report gonna throw out a bunch of C's for SmackDown here as we wrap up.
Yeah, the only other thing to touch on was the 62-year-old who took bumps at Double or Nothing. Sting.
Oh, right.
Oh my God.
Great way to start that too. Like that was another one where I was like, oh, I forgot we had to do this match, and then that's how you book that match.
He was doing dives. He was jumping off of stuff. He was eating bumps. He was not protected in that tag match. He wasn't eating the bumps that Darby does, but nobody should be doing that to themselves. I don't know how Darby survives, but bravo to Sting. That was an incredible performance, and that crowd just didn't. I think they loved it, and they were just so shocked that Sting was like, he looked like he was 40 years old. Like he looked awesome.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me. It was book that so that I'm excited right at the get-go, because that was another one where it was, again, shorten the shows, everybody. I think WWE had it right. Like I get fans are back, but 2-3 hours tops. Don't take me into 1 a.m. All right. Any last words, Mike? I think I'm ready to sell off.
Just
right under an hour.
Thanks to Greg. Thanks to WrestlePlug. Thanks again to Rachel and Amy for helping hold it down on the Facebook group. And we'll see you guys out there.
Yeah, check bodpodcast.com, brothersofdiscussion.com. Click the shop button on the homepage. We still have our hot tag t-shirts that are available. I put my thumb up and not even seeing it there. But yeah, support the show that way. You know what? That's it. Support the show that way with the shops. And then, if you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you're on listen to the actual podcast, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you guys are listening to it. Does us a world of good. Greatly appreciate it. And let's sail off. Mike, thanks again.
Shinsuke Nakamura.